The holidays are all about sharing with family. Meals, couches, stories, Grandma's secret pecan pie recipe. And now, you can also share a cart with Instacart's Family Carts. Everyone can add what they want to one group cart from wherever they are. So you don't have to go from room to find out who wants cranberry sauce, or who should get mini marshmallows for the yams, or collecting votes for sugar cookies versus shortbread. Just share a cart and then share the meals and the moments. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Why get all your holiday decorations delivered through Instacart? Because maybe you only bought 2 wreaths, but you have 12 windows. Or maybe your toddler got very eager with the advent calendar. Or maybe the inflatable snowman didn't make it through the snowstorm. Or maybe the twinkle lights aren't twinkling. Whatever the reason, this season, Instacart's here for hosts and their whole holiday haul. Get decorations from the Home Depot, CVS, and more through Instacart and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Brian text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
I'm told by a text messenger courtesy of the Bradshaw and Brian Holla Hotline. He says, NBC player intro just last week. Motor City Kitties Alex Anzalone introduced himself and said, father of 2. See, that's what Deuce and I listen for is the different, and we're like, Potato will be talking, go, shh, no, wait, shh, shh, shh. And then we wait, we wait, and we go through all the intros, and then we go back to what we're doing, because I like them.
They're good.
The legendary Mark Rosen. I think it was yesterday you told me not to panic. Nothing wrong with this Wolves Club.
I didn't say that at all.
I thought you said not to panic.
No.
Because I'm panicking.
You just never listen.
I'm panicking.
Okay, I said it's okay to say that the sky's not falling.
Well,
at the
falling.
same time, be very, very concerned about this basketball team. This is the first time they've lost 3 straight since, the second round of the Western Conference semifinal? Something last year. I saw some stat last night. And it's not that they've lost 3
Well, the sky's falling, Mark.
It's not a good team right now. Not even close. And after getting drilled, the first night against Portland, I think, okay, they're staying in the same city. Portland's resting 2 of its starters.
You'd convinced me they were going to win.
Well, yeah. And
so I didn't even bother watching because I thought they were going to win. I missed it last night.
Yeah, you wouldn't have watched anyway.
Oh, you're right.
Come on. They got off to a good start. And then second quarter.
And then the sky fell.
Yeah, I mean, they're it's just the same stuff. I mean,
except this time Ant said, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, well, that's better than...
I don't know what to say.
Well, when you go 0 for 9, shooting 3... Yeah. The reason they were winning games early, it was because Ant was knocking down three-pointer after three-pointer after three-pointer. And now he's cold. He's not getting any help. Randall, did okay last night. Certainly a lot better than he did the night before. Gobert was a no-show for the most part. DiVincenzo, even though I heard Grady say DiVincenzo
well, then
last night.
He needs to.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. He was awful last night. 1 for 10. Rob Dillingham actually got the chance to play a little bit because they rested Conley last night. But, the young, spry Portland Trailblazers, led by, is it Donovan Clingan? Remember watching that guy?
Played for UConn.
Yeah.
Hell of a player.
What a monster he is. I mean, he's like...
He'd look good in a Wolves uniform.
Jimmy Pete was talking about him last night. I mean, he had like 8 or 9 block shots, and he had nice touch around the basket. But again, they treated it like, let's go out and play. And then in the fourth quarter, they took it to him. So, I mean, I think we were talking about, well, what's going on? How much is the team different than without Carl Anthony Towns? Well, I mean, the guy I think they really miss is Kyle Anderson, slow-mo. And I know he's not a difference maker. I know people are always critical of the way he shot the ball, but the dude would go out there and play defense every night, and he'd shut people down. And he was a calming influence on this team. Those are the things that happen in the NBA with salary situations and everything else, and good for slow-mo. But they haven't made up for his absence. you can just see that. The chemistry is not there yet. They're not anticipating where everybody else is supposed to be on the court, and so they're a mess right now. And it's again, could it be short term? Yeah, I mean, certainly could be, but it's more than just. When you go 7 for 39, you guys were talking about 3-point shooting earlier with the Shaq quote about how it's ruining the game. They took 39 3-pointers last night. Great, but you made 7. That's 17%. So when you do that, you're not going to win many games in this league. And Ant just looked, I don't know, just not with it. I mean, he made some, he had some nice shots inside. He can shoot that mid-range jumper, and again, Portland was playing shorthanded. So kudos to them for sticking it to the Wolves last night.
So what's the answer?
I don't know. You just keep playing through it. What else are you going to do? You're not going to change your roster.
How long is it going to take us to gel?
I don't know. Maybe it'll be one of those years where they struggle just to make it to the 8th or 9th spot in the playoffs. I mean, it's way too early to tell. But until Randall becomes a force and becomes, I mean, they're not getting contributions from, Gobert was not good last night.
He blamed himself. He blames. Yeah. He says the defense the last 2 games is all his fault. He's supposed to set the tone.
He is supposed to set the tone. And McDaniels wasn't very good. He fouled out. Again, I already mentioned Edwards. When Edwards is shooting like that, especially 3-pointers, you really don't have much of a chance. You're going to have that kind of volume of 3-point shots, and they weren't, they weren't all good looks. Naz Reid kept them in the game for a while, but DiVincenzo was supposed to be a guy that, I was excited about him.
I warned you.
Coming here from the Knicks. Why didn't you warn me?
He's okay.
Well, he was more than okay with the Knicks.
Player.
But, I mean...
Anybody can shoot threes nowadays.
Well, not anybody.
Well, they all try.
They try. Yeah, they do.
He was 1 for 10.
But he's supposed to be more than just a 3-point shooter. I mean...
Would you do me a favor?
He gets to the lane, yes.
So he was 1 for 10. What did Randall have last night? How many points did he score, do we know?
He had 20.
So together they had 22? Can you do me a favor and just look up Bodega Cat and see what he did last night?
I think he had 47.
Oh!
Well, what was the score of the game? Did they win or lose?
47 points for Bodega.
How'd they lose? How'd they play? What was the final score?
I don't know. What was it?
I don't know. Did the Knicks lose last night?
I don't know. Just know that Bodega Cat had 45 points last night. We would have had those extra 30 points.
They lost to the Knicks. I mean, they lost to the Bulls.
Okay.
So maybe he gave up 47 with his defense.
Well, you've turned on.
No, I'm just saying he was the only reason they were close.
Yeah,
possible.
Turning. Now you've turned on Bodega Cat.
I'm not turning on him. I'm just saying that it's great when you put up a lot of numbers, but you still lost the game.
NBA history last night. First time 3, 6'11" players or taller scored 45 points. Giannis, Wemby, and Bodega Cat. I think they miss Bodega Cat more than they know. I think he was the chip on the shoulder on this team. Well, I mean, he was the one guy that had suffered through everything here for 8-10 years.
He had.
So he wanted playoff success more than anybody. The other guys, I'm not saying they don't want playoff success, but they just we got to gel here for a while. And okay, whatever.
Well,
and it might, you know what? As Dan Dierdorf so eloquently said when Joe Montana came back from a severe injury, playing for the Chiefs, dropped back and threw a pass. It was just nobody said a word until after the pass was thrown. And he said, and all is right with the world. Maybe all will be right with the world. Well, with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Maybe they'll end up being the number 1 or number 2 seed, and we'll get to the NBA Finals and we'll have a parade. But for me, most of it is, I get a lot of text messages about relax. Mm-hmm. It's early. Team is going to gel. Somebody else just sent one. Well, look at the Mavericks. They were in the NBA Finals. Their net record isn't very good. I just don't like the body language and the comments out of the locker room. And I don't know why other people aren't annoyed. It seems like they're not as many fans are annoyed as I am when you just say, I don't know why we just don't play defense at the beginning of the game. Maybe we should try that, guys.
Right.
What do you think? I mean, what are you talking about?
Well,
You're
they actually
professional
did last
athletes.
night.
How much money are these guys making? They're making hundreds of millions of dollars. It's like, come on, man. Just give an on. You're 2.5 hours a day. What do you mean you don't know when to play defense? Start at the beginning of the game.
I've been more annoyed by these last 2 losses than I were probably almost any time during the regular season last year because, they would lose 2 games here and there. They never had a 3-game losing streak in the regular season. So they would manage to play. And you're going to have those nights in the NBA. The other teams, like Portland did last night, young kids, they get hot. And they felt it. They were punished by Minnesota here, and they were coming off an embarrassing loss at home the other day. And those kids played really well last night. And the Wolves were not up to it. And they looked lethargic, and for the second straight night in the fourth quarter, they look like they haven't even been a playoff team. So, I mean, of course they can. We're 12 games into the season or whatever. Yeah, I understand that, but there still is the look of the team, and it doesn't mean that starting tomorrow night against Sacramento, they're going to just all of a sudden turn it on and continue to play at a high level. That somehow the magic elixir will be there, and it's just not there yet, and that's just. I mean, I knew it was going to take time. I thought it would with the new additions, but
I missed that. I thought it would be seamless. Just play. They've been playing basketball since they were 4
but not
years
together.
old. Well, yeah.
I mean, don't poo-poo that.
How I do though.
Well, you can, but it's not. You're not right. I mean, it's not like it's
All I know is when Durant joined Golden State, it didn't take him long to gel, did it?
Well,
how quickly did he gel with that?
You're talking about Kevin Durant. You're not talking about DiVincenzo, and
you're the one that just told me you loved him with the Knicks.
I did. It doesn't mean he's a superstar. I say he's a role player. He's a good player. He's not starting.
All right.
He's a bench player. Randall, I thought would be.
Sorry,
better.
I snapped. I'm sorry. I'm overreacting. I'm snapping. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be.
They'll be just fine. They'll start to gel hill.
I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying that don't put words in my mouth. You came out of it right away, right out of the block today, saying I said they were going to be.
Somebody just said you did say that. Somebody texted me that you said don't.
I said you can be both. I said, oh my God, I'm going to have to restart recording my own.
We should do that. We should.
Because we do have a capabilities
we've got it.
here.
Tennessee can go back and get it right now if you want.
Go get it. I said it just because I was agreeing with you yesterday.
Oh.
You can have it both ways. You can say that the season's not over, but this is concerning. As Johnny Athletic said last night, they're not good right now. That's just a fact.
That's a natural fact.
Yes.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. Tennessee has a keyword for it.
The Fan and 2 men in a junk truck want to give you a shot to put $1,000 in your hand with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword deposit at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. The keyword is deposit. Enter now. KFAN.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mark Rosen's appearance on the program is brought to you by your Greater Twin City Honda dealers. Head over to our contest page and enter for your chance to win a pair of passes to an early screening of Gladiator 2 in theaters on November 22nd. That's KFAN.com. Keyword contest for your chance to win.
Text messages coming into the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line at, I guess the way I would describe it would be breakneck speeds. This one says, you're right about this gelling comment. It's complete BS. You've been playing since you were 7. Talent and effort is all it takes. Get off your butt. Put forth some effort for 48 minutes, for crying out loud. Thanks, Dave. I tend to agree with that.
Well, I think there's truth to that. You can play with talent and effort, and you can make up for it. But I still think there's as you can tell with the better teams most of the time, the Celtics, look at the top teams in the league. They've been together for a while, and it didn't happen overnight. Took Denver 3-4 years to get to the point to become a championship-type team.
How long did it take the USA Olympic team to gel?
Okay, come on.
Well, how long did it take them to gel?
Well, they almost lost to, Serbia?
Almost, but they didn't.
Well, they could have, and they should have. How long did
it take them to gel?
Well, look at the talent they have.
Look at the talent the Wolves have.
Okay, that's ridiculous. You're comparing the Wolves to the U.S. Olympic basketball team.
But...
Well, yeah, you actually are.
Timberwolves to Blazers should be what U.S. was to Serbia in the Olympics.
No.
You just beat me to it.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's all right. I love the fact you texted me last night
I did.
at 11:30. I was like, why is he up? About the nice effort. And then, of course, all you did was check the score.
Yeah, because I'd fallen asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
It's my routine. I'm asleep by 9 o'clock. My wife last night made pork tenderloin, sweet potatoes. Oh, man. So you eat, then you sit down on the couch, you start scrolling on the phone.
Next thing you know, you're
off.
out. It's the best feeling in the world.
And I lay down with the throw pillow and put my blanket over me. And then all of a sudden I wake up. It's 11:30. I check the score. They lose. The first thing I think of is text Rosen.
I got to get a hold of him. I was like,
what was my text? What do you think of the Timberwolves now?
I know. And then I actually had watched Chris Finch's news conference, and I gave kind of a snotty response about his response, because he was deadpanning it, going, well, I think he was seething underneath all that.
I'm about to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
I think the Timberwolves might be distracted by the ownership fight.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, they weren't last year, but they all of a sudden are right now.
Well, could that be a possibility?
100% zero.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to throw it out there just in case.
I don't think that they're having on those bus rides or in the hotels, the Four Seasons, they're discussing whether A-Rod and Laurie are going to get the team or Glenn Taylor's going to retain it.
Go to the 8:25 mark in the podcast yesterday. Rosen says the Timberwolves will probably win by 15 tonight.
Yeah, I thought they would.
I did too.
That part of it I 100% said. And it looked like they were well on their way after the first quarter. And then you find out that, Portland had sat two of their best, better players. They don't have a great team. I thought, well, they're going to bounce back after they got their butts kicked the night before. But this is a different team right now, a different situation than it was a year. A year ago, they probably would have won by 15. But not this year, not right now.
Ant is too immature to be expected to lead. Do you think there could be something to that? He is only 20, 2 or 3?
Yeah. I mean, I think some of his words are.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying somebody brought that up, and I wonder if there's.
Well, I think there's some truth to it. I mean, I think there's. You mentioned Cat and how long it took him to kind of take on all the slings and arrows of being the big meow, and he had to deal with a lot of criticisms over the years.
He was the leader. The team was his.
Yeah, it was before Ant got here, and inheriting the KG kind of. I mean, it's just he's showing some immaturity. Yeah, he's still, I think, barking at the officials a little bit too much for his own good.
Yep.
And you got to lead by example. I mean, he was 2 weeks ago, he was the talk of the NBA. He was going to, he was eclipsing Steph Curry's 3-point shooting.
Correct.
I mean, and he was, but, sometimes, you cool off a little bit. And now you have to rely on other parts of your game. And in particular, defense. He's got upset a couple times last night when they called the foul on him, and they were kicking the ball off their feet and out of bounds. I mean, everything that could go wrong, they were doing wrong last night.
Meanwhile, the other winter sports team is doing remarkably well. They're 10-2-2, and I think this one kind of came out of nowhere. I think a lot of us, and I'll admit, I didn't. If you would have said they're going to be 10-2-2 through 14 games, I'd have said, you talk about the Wild of the early Parisi Suter days, or what are you talking about? And it's been a nice start to the season. And it's the Blackhawks next, and the Blackhawks tend to be they're not very good.
Montreal.
Oh, that's Montreal. I'm sorry.
They just played the Blackhawks.
They played the Blackhawks. And how are the Habs? Habs any good?
They're one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
They won their last game, but
the mighty have fallen.
They lost like 6 or. They've been bad for a couple years in a row here.
I heard Russo a little bit driving around this morning, and he was talking about the Skatriots. He was talking about Matt Boldy and his emergence as a potential real big star, not only on the team but in the league. that he's figuring it out. He's maturing. He's one of those guys that you look at. Obviously, Kaprizov's Kaprizov, but when you look at the younger players that are turning the corner, and what Bill Guerin has been reminding everyone of until they get freed finally after this year, free at last. We're finally free of Suter and Parisi at last. From a salary standpoint, some of these younger players are starting to reach that potential that everybody thought they would, and Matt Boldy might be leading the pack, as they say. So good for him. Stay healthy. That's the big thing with these players. It's a grind. But yeah, it's fun. It's been great. Good for them.
Vikings play Sunday. Game here on this radio station. They'll be taking on the Tennessee Titans at Tennessee. They're 6-point favorites. Mm-hmm. Will you be taking them in spread swing? Will Deuce be taking them in spread swing? Will Deuce turn on the Motor City Kitties again? He was licking his chops there in that first half.
Well, he should have been.
Right around the corner. It's spread swing. My boy, my oldest, who I created from my loins, will join us next. Deuce, live from Lincoln, along with Tennessee, Mark Rosen in common. Other side of the break, it's time for Spread Swing, right here on the Fan.
Build up to Black Friday with savings all month long at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances, plus take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to pick up holiday inflatables under $20. Don't wait to save, in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items while supplies last.
And join Corey Cove for Coors Light Hockey Night tonight at Sunset Grill in Spring Lake Park. Watch Minnesota take on Montreal and play trivia for your chance to win a pair of sweet tickets to the game on January 9th against Colorado. Get all the details now at KFAN.com. Keep your calendar.
And the Canadians, they at one time, one of their nicknames is the Habs, right?
The Habitants, yes.
Yeah, terrible team, terrible city, terrible fans. And as well as we're playing, to me, it sounds like it's a matchup of the Habs and the Have-Nots.
It does. Great sweaters they had, though. My God, the logo.
Now, what do you think? What'd you think of that line, Deuce? The Habs and the Habs-Nots.
Yeah.
I think that the title of your stand-up comedy tour, and I don't know if this is still the title, I think it may be the former title, the Grand Larceny Tour. It's jokes like that really make that title more and more true.
That's actually very good.
Sad, really.
The
what
Grand
are you
Larceny
laughing at? Well, that's what we called it, the Grand Larceny
That is
Tour.
very funny. Yeah.
I still haven't found Nick. I wanted to give away more tickets. You can buy them at rockwoodsmn.com. 2 shows, dinner show tomorrow at 6:30, after dark show at 9:30. rockwoodsmn.com. Larry Mandela guy, common man, and Meat Sauce. And Meat Sauce went from being booed off the stage at the Mud Room to turning into we had to drag him off the stage. They were laughing uproariously. They wanted more. So it's the greatest comeback since Lazarus. Anyway, Deuce is on because it's Thursday. It's time for Spread Swing.
Spread Swing.
Rosie, you were in the lead going into last week at 122, but I had narrowed the gap, the closest it's been for a long, long time for you.
Correct.
I was up to 110.5, Common at a very respectable 45, and Deuce in last place at minus 26.
Familiar position.
But after last week, Deuce says, now what do you think? What do you think of that? He had a couple, small wins, but for him, a small win is a huge win. Deuce, you had Pittsburgh plus 2.5 against Atlanta last week, and against Washington, and they won that game 28-27. So you gained 3.5 points there.
Right.
You also went against your dad. You had Houston plus 3.5 against the Lions.
God, it looks so good.
At one point, you're in good shape. They ended up losing the game by 3, but you did gain that 0.5 point. So For the week, Deuce, you increased by 4 points, which is a win for you. You're up to minus 22. Com and a couple small games on your end as well, because you had the opposite side of that Detroit-Houston game. You lost a half a point there. You also had Tampa Bay plus 6.5 against San Francisco. They lost, but only by 3, so you gained 3.5 on there. So for the week, you gained 3 points. You go from 45 to 48. I was the only one who lost points this past week. I had the Rams -1 on Monday night against the Miami Dolphins. They lost by 8. So I lost 9 points there. Shocking. I did win my other matchup, a small win for me. I had Cincinnati plus 6 on Thursday Night Football against Baltimore. They only lost by a point, so I gained 5 points. They had a 14-point lead at one point in that game, and then they lost by a point. So I dropped from 110.5 to 106.5. And then, Rosie, you start getting a little bit of pressure on you, and you just reverted to week 2, week 3, week 4, Rosie.
Yep.
You had Philadelphia -7.5 against Dallas. They crushed them 34-6.
Yes.
So you gained 20.5 points there. You also had the Chargers -7.5 against Tennessee. Yo, what up, Tennessee? They won by 10, so you gained 2.5 there.
There you go.
On the week, you gained 23 points. You're now up to 145. I'm in second at 106.5. Commons in third at 48. And Deuce is in last at minus 22.
Man, why are they in Vegas making these picks? Oh, God.
Spread swing.
I couldn't be more delighted for Mark Rosen just amassing just dozens and dozens.
Yeah. And I have to go last every week.
We're thrilled.
Yeah,
we're happy.
Well,
and Deuce leads off every week.
But you're like, you guys in the studio and all these listeners, you're all about to witness the greatest comeback in the history of spreads. You've heard of the Vikings coming back to beat the Colts down 33. This comeback that I'm about to put on over the back end of this season is going to make
bet.
You want to bet, Deuce? Of course, it's my money he's betting. No, he makes money for himself. He does well.
He does.
Yes, he does. But let me ask you something. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
For this week, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are finally about to get exposed. I'm tired of seeing them win week after week after week. They beat the Broncos last week off of a blocked field goal, and they're about to go up against a dangerous Buffalo team. Over the past 5 weeks, Buffalo has done nothing but win, and win again. And they're going to continue that streak and hand the Chiefs their first loss of the season. It's not even going to be remotely close. I think the Bills are going to destroy the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll take Buffalo -2 in Buffalo.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, they get Pacheco back.
I think it was one of those games. It's going to be a one-score game, and whoever has the ball last wins. So I can't predict who's going to have the ball last.
Right.
Spread swing.
I'm hesitant, but
here we go.
The bid I got.
It's a lot of points.
How are we 14-point favorites?
Oh, you're going to win by 30. They're playing Jacksonville.
Tennessee, do you have the double down sounder? No, I'm just kidding.
You should.
I'm not double down.
Oh, man.
I can't stop the bit now.
No, I mean, come on. 14.
Oh, please. Listen to you.
I'll take them if you don't want them. I'll take the Kitties.
And you'd give up 14 points against the Jaguars?
Yes.
It is at Detroit, so.
Yeah.
I guess I feel okay.
38 to 10
I'm taking
game.
the Kitties. I'll take the Kitties. And I know they'll probably end up winning by 12, and I'll lose 2, but I'll take the chance.
What do you think of the Lions now?
Yeah.
Before they've restored.
All I know is their quarterback threw 5 interceptions last week, and they won the game on the road.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. They're saying he's not going to be in the MVP race anymore because he threw 5 interceptions.
Well, who is the MVP then?
I don't know.
There's no obvious.
Derrick Henry.
Maybe.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar might probably be before Henry.
Yeah.
Spread swing.
I don't like a lot of the games this week. I think it's a challenging week for NFL spread swing. So I'm going to go off the board a little bit here.
Ooh.
I guarantee no one else is thinking about doing the Cleveland-New Orleans game.
You're right about that.
I'm going to watch it. It's my favorite game on for.
But the Cleveland Browns are favored by a point at New Orleans. I know the Saints coming off the win at home against the Atlanta Falcons last week. But Cleveland's coming off a bye. New Orleans, their offensive line, they've got some injuries up front, and they were able to survive just because Atlanta's pass rush isn't very good. Cleveland's pass rush, on the other hand, is elite, and I think they're going to be all over the statue that is Derek Carr throughout this entire game. It's always dangerous to go with Jameis Winston because you never know which Jameis Winston experience you're going to get. But I'm going to take Cleveland -1 on the road at New Orleans.
Spread swing.
That's interesting.
Well, this is almost too easy. The last time the Bears beat the Packers was in 2018. They've lost 10 straight games to Green Bay.
It's at Chicago. It's a lot of points.
I
just made a coordinator change.
Yeah, I think they want, if they took a poll of the players right now, they probably want Mitch Trubisky to start at quarterback or Bobby Douglas. The Packers are coming off a bye. They can still obviously.
Could be rusty.
Yeah, they could be, but they're playing, as Aaron Rodgers used to say, we own them. Yeah. They do. This may push Eberflus, or whatever his name is, off the edge. The Vikings are next, then the Kitties. This is who the Bears have yet to play a divisional opponent. We know what a mess they are from top to bottom.
Hot mess.
And I think Green Bay, a well-rested Packer team, is going to continue that streak, win their 11th straight against the Bears at Soldier Field, where they will be booing the Bears from the moment they take the field for the warm-ups.
All right.
My poor guy, Kevin Warren, is having a tough time down there, I think, dealing with all this. So Packers by 5. I'll be happy to give those 5.
Chicago's a tough guy town.
It is a tough guy
not anymore,
town.
they're not.
And this one we'll catch up to the road. We're going to gain some ground. I think the Bears are going to win it.
Do you really?
Yep.
Take them.
I might.
All right.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of these games either.
No.
I'm kind of with Tennessee. And in the time that I normally spend reviewing the games and make a choice, like the hour or so before 2:30, I spent that taking a nap instead because I felt just simply exhausted from a day of doing, I had a test today, but before that I did a whole lot of nothing. But regardless, I was feeling exhausted. I'm not really sure which team is going to pull off a win and get me some points in spread swing, but I do know that Lamar Jackson is the front runner for MVP, and I like the way this Ravens club's been playing. Pittsburgh came off of a hard-fought win against the Washington Commanders last week. They got me a few points, but I just really like the way Baltimore's playing. I think Lamar and the Ravens are going to continue to roll. They've had a couple just extraordinarily bad games this season against bad teams, but when they have competent opponents, they tend to show up and play extremely well. I don't care that it's at Heinz Field. Give me the Baltimore Ravens -3 on the road.
Spread swing.
Oh, my turn?
That's you.
Take the Bears.
No.
The Bears.
No, there's a game that a sleeper that you guys probably just didn't even look at. New York Jets are at home, 4-point favorites over Indianapolis. They asked Aaron Rodgers, do you want to play next year? And he said, maybe.
I saw that. Big commitment.
He's done. He's checked out.
He should be done.
And, just psychologically, I know he's done because they're 3-7. He had dreams of hoisting the Lombardo trophy again, blah, blah, blah. That team is basically done. The Colts, they're 4-6, so they're not done. I mean, even the Jets are 3-7. The Colts are only a game better. But Flacco, they're putting him out to pasture. He's done so.
Right.
So they're bringing in the other kid. The kid's probably, I'm hoping, this is just, there's no guarantee this. He knows, here's my chance. I mean, I got to either put me back in the lineup. I got to start playing some football. I think Indianapolis would like nothing better than to take it to the Jets. I just feel like Indianapolis probably hasn't. I think the Jets have quit. That's what I'm going to go with, and I think the Colts have not quit, even though they probably should. I'll take the Colts and get those 4 points, even though it's in the Meadowlands.
I had the Colts as my third choice, so it's kind of a semi-snipe. I wasn't going to take them next, but I had them in my top 3.
The Colts, I think
the Jets have been overbet this entire season.
Yeah.
The market is keeps skewing towards them, and they haven't proven why they should be.
That is correct.
Why they should be 4-point favorites.
Spread swing.
a team I've kind of dismissed all season long. I should start buying into a little bit, and that would be Sean Payton's Denver Broncos. Ooh. They're 2.5-point favorites versus the Atlanta Falcons. When I look at the Falcons' offense and the Broncos' defense is elite at stopping the run. So Bijan contained. The Broncos have the best cover corner in the entire NFL in Patrick Surtain. So Drake London, you are about to be blanketed. Ooh. So Kirk's going to have to depend on guys like Darnell Mooney and maybe some Kyle Pitts in this game. But I just think on the road at Denver to a Broncos team that had a pretty darn good showing and a bad field goal execution away from beating the Kansas City Chiefs last week. I'm gonna go with Denver Broncos up in the mile high -2.5 against Atlanta.
Spread swing.
Well, we got a great game tonight. Philadelphia at home against Washington. I think the Eagles will win that game, but I'm going to avoid that one because I want to root for Jaden Daniels. So I'm going to go to Sunday afternoon, another divisional battle. But the 49ers to me are going to be peaking at the right time. They get Christian McCaffrey back. We saw it last week. I think their defense is getting better. Seattle's in a slump. So it's a little heftier than I'd like to do, but San Francisco's 6.5-point favorites at home at Kezar. Or Candlestick, I can't remember where they play. So I'm going to take San Francisco to continue their roll towards the postseason.
Interesting.
6.5.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
It's a lot of points.
I know. I did. I said that, but
points, Mark.
I think I think Seattle's kind of hit the wall a little bit. So I'll take the 49ers.
Very good.
Yeah, there we go.
And there we go.
That's it for
Spread swing.
Now, Deuce, I don't know if we went over this last week. Did you talk last week that you've been eliminated from the Vine Street football playoffs, right?
It was a gritty night at the Vine Street Field, but at the end of the day, we couldn't get it done. We lost by 1 touchdown. Their defense contained our normally high-powered offense pretty well, and we're done with football. We'll be back with 4v4 flag football, but over the winter, starting at the beginning of next semester, we're going to be playing basketball. So I'm going to get in the lab with Trevor and the twins, and they're going to turn me into an absolute unit, and I'm going to dominate on the hardwood this coming winter.
You can barely walk and chew gum. I can't imagine you on a basketball court trying to dribble a basketball. I've seen you. You're really bad. This could be awful. Let me ask you a question. Did you ever get the another unsportsmanlike conduct flag?
No, but in a game before the postseason, I got relatively close. In a story that I haven't told on the air, I'll keep it brief. I came onto the field to play cornerback because we were winning this game by 3 touchdowns. So I said, second string defense, put me on an island. And they put me matched up one-on-one on a guy. And he tried to run to the back left corner, but I caught up with him. He had me beat, but I sprinted to catch up with him. And QB throws the deep ball, and the lights kind of blocked the ball for a second. I couldn't quite see, but I looked up and just kind of stuck my hands out. The ball fell right into the breadbasket. I felt like PS2 and on the field that night. I got that interception, and for my celebration, I was hoisting the ball, walking towards the sideline, and I did the old, fake an injury, and I grabbed my hamstring and started limping, fell to the ground. But then as I fell to the ground, I got in an army crawl position using a football as sort of a rifle that a soldier would be possessing. And I started crawling along the ground, doing an army-style crawl, and then just started shooting the ball, just pew, 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 like a rifle. But that didn't draw it either. I did everything I could, and that time being on defense, the Terrell Owens celebration wouldn't have worked as well.
Right, yeah.
So I had to improvise, but it just wasn't enough. I'm thinking maybe next season I might just have to go up to some of my opponents and just literally slap them in the face or just start brawling with the ref. Yeah. One year a guy did kick a ball at a ref, and they weren't too thrilled with that. So I might need to get extremely, extremely unsportsmanlike.
You got a podcast out, a fresh one? What do you got?
Well, this one not quite sports related. Don't get me wrong. We talked some sports, but we got bored with it, and I started ranting about how bitter I was about people using their phones at a concert because everyone just wants to turn it into a photo shoot and videotape the entire thing, put it on social media. Just enjoy the concert.
Yeah.
Maybe it almost ruined the whole show for me. I felt very much like you, Dad, because I just couldn't stop getting bitter at other people.
Yeah, that'll happen to you. Yeah,
I wish I would. Wherever else.
I wish I wouldn't have passed that gene along to you, but I did. That's the way it goes. All right. Well, look, I'll talk to you before then, but we look forward to seeing you on Thanksgiving. We'll be over watching over at Uncle Al's, and Aunt Mary's watching the Roar be restored for that noon game. So,
who the Lions play this week? This Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, we got the Bears. That's gonna be a tough game.
Oh, no, yeah, right.
No, the Bears are.
They're tough.
Don't sleep on the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
All right, Deuce. Thanks.
Take care,
study
Deuce.
hard.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
all right.
You bet. That's Deuce, and there you go. He's what was he thinking?
Later.
Going to. Well, I forgot to ask him who Nebraska is this week. I don't even know.
I don't either. I don't know. Yeah.
I'll be watching.
Do you care?
Yeah, I do. I mean, because I do like watching this club play. Because it's fun.
Football.
It's something. Yeah, but no. I mean, deep down, do I care? No.
No.
But what the heck? It's something.
They're at USC.
USC. So there you go. Do you like the Vikings this week?
I do. I think their defense is elite, obviously, with getting Cashman back, and he's had a great effect on this team. And let's see if Darnold can figure out his footwork.
Yeah.
Figure out the red zone, because he's played awfully well in, between the 20s. I like the Vikings to win. I don't think it's going to be a rout.
I like the purple in this one too. Tend to be. You'll make that 3 for 3. You like the purple?
I like the Vikings, but Rosen seemed a little apprehensive about the Vikings yesterday.
Well,
what's changed here in 24 hours?
No. I never said they were going to lose. I said I think it's going to be a really close game. I am apprehensive. I just think but I hope they can shake the cobwebs out of that offense in the red zone. That's all.
We'll see you on Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Teneby, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We're back tomorrow at 12 noon. So, by the way, who's on Program Password?
We have Corey Cove, Carly Zucker, and Ryan Donaldson.
Very good.
No little B tomorrow.
No little B tomorrow. We will. We'll see you at noon. A Big Ticket and JG are next here on the Fan.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
The holidays are all about sharing with family. Meals, couches, stories, Grandma's secret pecan pie recipe. And now you can also share a cart with Instacart's family carts. Everyone can add what they want to one group cart from wherever they are. So you don't have to go from room to room to find out who wants cranberry sauce, or who should get mini marshmallows for the yams, or collecting votes for sugar cookies versus shortbread. Just share a cart and then share the meals and the moments. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Why get all your holiday decorations delivered through Instacart? Because maybe you only bought 2 wreaths, but you have 12 windows. Or maybe your toddler got very eager with the advent calendar. Or maybe the inflatable snowman didn't make it through the snowstorm. Or maybe the twinkle lights aren't twinkling. Whatever the reason, this season, Instacart's here for hosts and their whole holiday haul. Get decorations from the Home Depot, CVS, and more through Instacart and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.